My name is Rob DiGiovanni, and I am the Executive Director and Chief Scientist for the Atlantic Marine Conservation Society.
My name is Kimberly Durham, and I am the Necropsy Program Coordinator for the Atlantic Marine Conservation Society.
The idea for Atlantic Marine Conservation Society came about as a result of understanding how many people want to help and don't know exactly where to start. The Atlantic Marine Conservation Society is a group of volunteers and staff that work with the general public to help promote marine conservation through action.
We do this by responding to strandings of marine mammals and sea turtles, conducting research on these animals,
Beach monitoring, beach cleanups, seal walks, seal cruises,
as well as conducting public education on the marine environment they live in.
When we started in 2016, it started with myself and 3 other volunteers that formed the board of AMCs, decided it was a good idea to go out and try to engage the public. And the focus right then was really just to go out and make people aware of the need for the work that we're doing. Not just the work that we're doing from promoting marine conservation through action, but to understand more about why animals are washing up dead.
So in the past 5 years, Atlantic Marine Conservation Society has been able to respond through its biologists and volunteers over 1,000 animals. We've been able to basically tell the stories of these animals that succumb to various different types of diseases or injuries and make their stories known.
We've responded to over 60 large whales alone in the last 5 years.
In July 2020, we had a call about an entangled humpback, and this was an animal that was entangled in gear off of Rockaways, New York. And this event was a 4-day event, and it took a number of partners coming together to, in the end, free this animal from nearly 2 tons of gear that had been entangled around its tail, and it was anchoring it to the bottom of the ocean, really.
We worked with New York State DEC, we worked with the Center for Coastal Studies, NOAA Fisheries, Turtles Fly Too, which is another not-for-profit, and in this case flew the biologist from Cape Cod down to New York to be able to help with the disentanglement effort.
The hardest part of the mission was on day 2, we were unsuccessful in disentangling that animal. And after several attempts, we had to leave that animal knowing that it was still entangled in the gear and just hoping that it would survive the night and then we'd be back at it the next morning. We called in assets from all over the place. We had vessels coming in from New Jersey, and the challenge that we had was the weight of the gear. And in the end, we were able to get the Army Corps of Engineers vessel with its crane. They were able to lift that gear up, which enabled them to cut the animal free.
This animal that we had the call about was a 4-year-old humpback whale that was basically born the year we started AMCs.
So that kind of correlation between a 4-year animal as well as the formation of Atlantic Marine Conservation. We were meant to do this. We were meant to be there for that animal, and that's how we kind of all took that.
Working with our network partners from NOAA Fisheries, Naval and Sea Warfare Center, we are talking about how do we get 30 satellite tags out, whereas 5 or 6 years ago, we couldn't get the funding for 1 satellite tag. So that's really what is a huge success. Putting out 30 satellite tags is a considerable size project. Trying to be out in the field and doing about 4 or 5 weeks of capture work is a good effort, and then there's a lot of other work that has to come with that. So I think that comes right into our training part of what we're trying to do.
Through our education programs, we strive to get people thinking about how they can share these environments with these animals.
We do seal walks all around Long Island, and we go to Halleck State Park and Preserve, where we do beach monitoring and beach walks, and Sunken Meadow State Park. So we work in all the state parks trying to promote marine conservation through action.
Once you start having those conversations, you then can determine what steps can be taken to reduce the amount of plastics that end up in the waters that these animals swallow and get entangled in.
It's hard to believe it's 5 years. It's just been one more challenge that we go to in a positive way, that you're not doing this isolated from everybody. All these wonders and resources around Long Island that we want to share with the public, and we're able to go out there and engage the public and share with them what we do and work in their backyard. That's really been an exciting part of the last 5 years. Conservation starts with you.
It's the actions that you take
On a daily basis
that can mean everything.
for the animals we share our waters with.